Welcome back to MPL Recall. It's time to cover day 3 of the previous weekend. Ako nga pala si Leo. Kasama natin dito si Rob Luna and Johed, aka Renmar the Reptar. And first off, we are going to be checking out the very first matchup of the day. Worcester Force versus Next Play Esports. Nabanggit na nga natin that NXP was having a very rough weekend, and that started last Friday, or the Friday of that weekend, where they got swept by Omega. And on the other hand, Worcester Force parang maganda ang gising. They actually won this series 2-1, and because of that, there was a new meme born: Wakanda Forever by 3 Maratizi. Renmar the Reptar, your thoughts, man?
Naalala ko yun kasi nung ginawa niya yun, I think you were in the middle of delivering one of our sponsor spiels, and then nung ginawa ni 3 Martizi yun, napapaano ako, it's like, dali, kukol ko ba to? Parang ano to Ito ba yung joke post? Pero hindi, mukhang Wakanda Forever nga. Pero other than that happening, it was a really interesting series, and it's good for work that they got the win and a little bit more momentum. But then hopefully NXP fans after that match don't worry too much or put too much hate onto the players, kasi I'm starting to see a lot of NXP fans be very critical. Being critical is good, pero it's gotten to the point na pre, easy lang supporters ba kayo nung mga players, na be patient with the players, and that's what I want to see from all the fan bases. Now, yung Blacklist fans nga, sobrang patient with Blacklist in the off-season, believed in them, and then look at them now, they're top of the league. So, yeah, that's something that I hope changes, kasi naapektado din yung the mental state of the players. And speaking of mental state, dito natin nakita yung sinabi ko kanina with NXP going back into their old tendencies. Yung tawag ko sa kanya is regression aggression, na nagiging masyadong reactive, aggressive, na hindi naman kailangan. They take fights when they don't need to. So again, going back to what I said, NXP needs to be consistent. Kung magiging consistent sila sa mga improvements nila na we've seen them do, with better map and lane control, in-game adjustments with drafts, creativity with drafts, macro decision making, sky's the limit. But if they keep going back to their old tendencies, then they're just gonna get lost in all of this in Season 7.
Yeah, I agree. Rob, ikaw, just general thoughts on this best of 3.
To be honest, etong series talaga na to, parang I think work has the better approach going into this game. I can only say for NXP right now, given 2 weeks dito sa MPL Season 7, they had to find their own identity dito sa liga natin. It's like they were really trying each and every series that they had a different approach. And I like what Reptar said, consistency. Kumbaga, why not try what actually worked for them? Probably the Bren Esports game. It worked for them. Para kasing ang nangyari sa kanila, pag gumana to, gawin natin. Then one game, natalo sila with this kind of strategy. They would like to put something different on the following series, to the point na mas lalo silang nababaon in their own strategies. And I'm not sure if it's a good approach, since I think there were 3 coaches for Next Play Esports. I think that was Yolo, Chester, and Doggy working all around dito sa team na to. Pero individually kasi magagaling na yung mga players pero ang kulang talaga sa kanila is consistency, like Reptar said, and there are only 2 persons in Next Play Esports right now that has that kind of trait. It is H2O and Exort. Aside from the three members, they are good on the early game sometimes, but they kind of fall off as the game goes by. So yeah, I guess Next Play Esports really has to find their own identity, like work. Bigyan natin ng emphasis on work. Work, alam natin, Chu will be the one to carry them to mid-game or late game. Alam natin, their side lane, it was like Onyx PH all the way back Season 4 with some very strong pillars of side lane, 3 TC and Kusei. Alam mo kung ano ang gagawin ng work, pero at the same time, hindi mo ma-penetrate. That is identity. Alam mo kung ano ang meron sa team na to. For Next Play, it's like scattered. It's like all around ideas na pinilit pinagsama-sama into one.
Okay, well, we'll cover more about the ideas and the identities that Next Play are trying to, superimpose onto themselves with the help of their coaches, Doggy, Yolo, and Chester. But right now, na-mention mo na, Rob, si Exort, na veterano dito sa MPL, and of course, H2O. I want to put a highlight on Mr. Salonga, all right? On H2O, his sophomore go here at the MPL. I gotta ask you this first, Reptar. Sorry to put the hot seat on you again. But game 2 and 3, are these H2O's worst performance yet in MPL Season 7?
Well, as of now, I really just don't want to put it just on H2O. It was just, as a team, they regressed into their Season 6 selves. Na sino talaga nila na to get the game back? Game 2, that was like a really example of they could have gone back even during the time Uranus ni 3 Martisi was starting to become unstoppable na talaga. There was a possibility that they could have come back into it if they just adjusted what they did in game. And they didn't. They went back to, we'll get the kill on that. But then, in-underestimate talaga nila just how unkillable 3 Martisi was at that time. And then, of course, I don't want to say na kasalanan talaga ng NXP kung ba't natalo sila. Kudos din sa work because they did what they had to do to win that game. And it was a mix of H2O just making bad decisions, but then at the same time, ang ganda din kasi ng pressure ng work sa kanya in the jungle. So I cannot pin it all on H2O. I can't pin it all on NXP kasi that would take away the efforts na nilabas ng work Osterforce.
Yeah, I gotta say, it's just, sorry, nasimulan ko na kay H2O because that's where a lot of people are looking, right? He's arguably the star of NXP, and that's why yun ang ating parang, that's where the spotlight is. Rob, ikaw, how do you think H2O's performance was in game 2 and 3 specifically?
I think on subpar. Tingin ko, kahit, I don't think this is the worst performance coming from H2O. Like what I've said earlier, siya yung pinaka-consistent nga on the Next Play Esports team. And I think hindi din to bago for the side of Next Play. Kasi way back Season 6, they were on this kind of streak as well na natalo sila sa lahat ng mga teams on their group stage. I mean, on their group. That was Group A kung di ako nagkakamali. And suddenly, on the later weeks ng MPL Season 6, nabawian nilang lahat. So, pwede natin sigurong sabihin H2O or probably the rest of Next Play Esports, medyo matagal ang kanilang download lang or grasping to what's happening on MPL Season 7 and really looking to, forward na mababago pa to on the coming weeks ng MPL Season 7.
Okay, I like how you guys put it. Again, there's a regression into aggression. Merong catch-up mechanic dito. And of course, it's not fair to put so much pressure on H2O. But real quick, I have another question. And this time, let's cover the point you brought up earlier, Rob. Yung parang identity or lack thereof ng Next Play Esports. In Game 3 specifically, it was a draft battle between Coach Lift. Arguably, he's doing this all by himself, going up against 3 of the greatest minds, arguably, we've seen in all of MPL history, Doggy, Chester, and YOLO. Ang nangyari dito, yung Work Osterforce, ang ginawa nila, it's essentially their qualifiers draft. Nakuha nila yung ginamit nila na undefeated streak nung qualifiers, and then NXP, they seem to be doing their own version of what they think the meta should be right now. What do you think is going on in this specific interaction, Rob?
I think Next Play is trying to be creative right now. Na they're trying to find kung ano yung pinakamaganda. I think this was stated by Coach Ducky on Bren before on week 1 na they were trying to experiment things pa kung it will work. I think Next Play Esports was also on that kind of level na they were trying na to do such draft like what I've said earlier na pag may nabago na konti or hindi nag-work doon sa isang game nila, they were trying their very best na i-shift ng matindi yung susunod na game. Siguro the safest way to say it is like it was like Blacklist Season 6. Blacklist Season 6, sila yung parang di ba, trying to find kung ano yung pwedeng bago to break the meta, and that too is what's Next Play right now. They're trying to break the meta to the point na wala pa silang nabibuild na identity on themselves. Para sa akin, they have to start on their base. Individually, they're great, Pero as a team, they don't have a base foundation kung ano ba talaga ang next play esports rather than jumping around strategies that doesn't really work.
So, nawalan sila ng comfort. They felt so strong in the current because of how they went in season 1. In week 1. Well, technically si Doggy na dyan season 1, but NXP esports, they were so strong with the current meta in week 1. Nung week 2 parang nakalimutan natin kung saan talaga dapat tayo, where our zero is, kung nasan yung neutral natin. Again, there's so many things to consider here, but yeah, congratulations to Work Oster Force. 2-1 victory, Wakanda forever. 3 Martizi versus NXP. We'll move on to the second series of the day here. Tatlong laban to, guys. So strap yourselves into your seats kasi mahaba ang discussion, especially for this next one. Bren Sports versus Execration. This is a 2-1 victory going over to, this time, Brenny Sports. Rob, ito yung hinahanap-hanap mo eh. Kailan ba mananalo ang ating world champions and season champions? But we'll get back to that later. I want to talk to Reptar first. Were you casting this, man?
The Bren match, no. Ito yung nanonood
this was me and Wolf.
Ni Manjin. Ako yung dalawa
Kami
ni Wolf.
to.
Oh.
Yeah. What was it like watching?
Well, at first, at that point, medyo pagod na kami ni Manjin. And so we were, trying not to fall asleep while watching the match. Not because boring yung match, pero sobrang pagod lang kami. But then, during game number 2, dun kami nagising. And then especially for game number 3, where Bren was able to take it back. Kasi yung game number 1, we were watching it together on the stage, on the screen there. And then, it was a really interesting match. And what I liked seeing from Execration was the growth in trying to be a bit more unpredictable and trying to show off their improvements with their drafting. Kasi nung game number 1, naglabas sila ng Diggy. And then nung game number 2, when the Diggy was banned, that's when they decided to bring out their Granger strategy. Which, pag mag-Granger ka, as much as possible, wag mo ibigay yung Diggy because that will mess up the rotation of the Granger. And so, I like that we saw that from Execration, that, okay, yeah, they're trying something new. But then, in game number 2, we also saw the very greedy lineup with the Estes. And, yeah, that could have gone better.
Medyo baliw-baliw yung game 2 doon, the Execration. But yeah, game 1, I gotta say, yung Diggy ni Chakno, yung bayad na Diggy, na parang sobra daming ginagawa para pigilan yung lineup ng Bren. Rob, you watched this game as well. You have thoughts on this? I mean, 3 games.
Yeah, well, like what I've said kanina sinabi ko, no, na the first 2 weeks of MPL, I'm really looking forward kung kailan nga ba mananalo yung Bren, and this is the game that they've won. I think Execration, they tried to outsmart Bren Esports on this specific series kasi alam natin na kilala nila ang bawat isa, not only on MPL but also personally. So what Execration did is sinecond guess nila yung mga pwedeng gawin na parang they try to think outside of the box. Yung Diggy na yan, this is the kryptonite of Bren Esports, no doubt. Pero yung Estes dito, I think sinubukan nilang maging creative over Bren kasi yung Bren ang ginawa lang nila dito, they just have to stand on their ground na ito yung gameplay natin, we don't really have to change, the only thing that we need to change is ban the Diggy, and aside from that, let's play our own game. So Execration, this is not the game that they are used to play, pero yeah, like what I said, they try to outsmart Bren kaso hindi gumana sa series na to.
Yep, a little too much. I think they lost it in game 2. Tapos ito, nag-reset sila. They tried to fix it in game 3. And so far, parang wala na. Comfort zone na ng Bren. You gave them the momentum. You opened up an inch. They took the mile. And they eventually won. So you're looking at the draft. This is a very Bren draft, no? You see Flaptizi with the Khalid. You see Carl Tizi on the Chu. Ribo, nag-Bane. And again, of all of them, arguably, siya yung pinaka-flexible and siya yung pinaka-reliable, if I may say. And yeah, what is this? 11 minutes? Ubos? Oh, no. Eto Max. Yeah, I think also it was because of the Eto Max Natalia that just fell off. So yeah, congratulations again to Bren. 2-1, their first victory in Season 7. Now, I gotta throw it back. Rob, nakuha mo na yung hinahanap mo. Finally, Bren won a series. Now, do you think Bren is back? Is this enough to put them back on the right track and give them the momentum?
I think it's a good start. Tama ba ako? This is the first time na na-pick ang Forza sa MPL Season 7. I think this is the first time I saw, and this is the reason why I'm
Because it
asking.
gets banned.
Actually.
Yeah.
Oo, pero the reason why I'm asking is, ito kasi yung usual na ginagawa nila with Bren. This is way back, I think Onyx Indonesia is doing rather Alter Ego. If you actually remember the Farsa and Leo Murphy's Jawhead, ito yung exact technique na meron din yung Bren. This is their own identity. Few is going on ham with this mage together with the mobility and yung vision na pinoprovide dito ni Lusty. And Carl TC is just giving enough space and time to be able to farm up. So if you ask me the question, is this the right or this is the game that would put Bren back into the map for MPL Season 7? I will tell you yes. Definitely a yes. The only thing siguro na pwedeng i-work around was their side lane. Flap TZ, this is not the usual Flap that I used to see.
Okay. Yeah. Real quick, just to answer your question, week 1, game 3, NXP versus LPE, may nag-farsa na, si Lancy.
Alright.
So
Okay.
it's not the first time, and few also played Farsa week 1. So it's just we're not used to thinking about Farsa anymore. Parang Eve talaga,
Yeah.
parang Eve ngayon na mainit. But yeah, Raptor, is Bren back?
No, but they're getting there.
Ooh.
I'm sorry, mas mataas talaga yung expectations ko when it comes to Bren Esports. So out of all the teams, siguro like they're the ones that I have the highest expectations for. Again, they've said it. Yun yung ano nila eh. They wear it with so much pride. We're the world champions. We're the season 6 champions. We're the defending champs. And then, so far, the past few weeks, the past few games for Bren Esports, parang humility trip para sa kanila eh. Na parang, guys, sobrang gumaling nung ibang teams. You really have to step up. So, no, I don't want to say with confidence that Bren is back. Bren will be back if they can dominate. Again, that's when we can say, ay, eto na ulit ang Bren Esports. They're back. Pero if they're winning 1 out of 3 or 4 series, no, they're not back. They're getting there. It's good to see that Flap TZ finally had a good game nung game number 3 of this series because a lot of people have been very critical and quite harsh on the kid. I feel like with Flap, it's not really that much of he's not doing well. It's just that nasanay na yung mga teams kung paano maglaro si Flap. So Flap just needs to adjust his aggression a bit because dati yun yung alas ni Flap eh na I'm gonna be unexpected with my aggression, you're gonna get surprised, you're gonna get thrown off. But then now teams adjusted to that. And so, basa na si Flap. Flap adjusted that a little bit. And of course, Rebo on the Bane. Kaya ang ganda ng Rebo in lead picks. Hopefully, we get to see more creativity in drafts from like that from Bren. But yeah, no, they're not back. But yeah, we'll throw them a bone and say, eto na yung ano. They're getting there. They're getting there.
Okay, wala pa pero papunta na. Naligo na, kumbaga, ang Bren Esports. We'll be moving on to the next series here. Onyx Philippines versus Laos Playbook Esports. Before the highlight goes in place, real quick, shoutouts to Sael, to Diel, to Iwin, to Rachel, to Dwayne, as well to all the folks in chat right now. Carl, Christian, and DK, yeah, all right? So hope you guys are having fun, and of course, loving the discussions you guys are doing in chat. And of course, if you haven't yet, please share the stream, all right? Please share the stream and like and follow Covenry. Here we go. We'll be checking out the third series of the day, the last series of day 3, Onyx Philippines versus LPE. Another sweep. Wow. Onyx Philippines played the same lineup twice in a row. Twice. All right? And I think... Raptor, ito, nagkasa tayo. Magkasama na tayo ito.
Tayo nagkasa to. And then, dito mo
Yeah.
yung sinabi yung Angela. Yung Angela DJ. Yeah, this was just a really, really good game from Onyx. And the patience of... Ang ganda ng combo ni Jay and Hate. I feel like it's a good voice to have in your head. Na, you know, Hate is one of the younger up-and-coming carries. Jay experienced na with, you know, with playing this game, has championship game experience. So, it's like, pre, ito dapat gawin mo. Siya yung ano eh, siya yung parang the angel and the devil on the shoulders of Hate.
Parang, sige, tulak mo, push mo, kaya pa yan. Rob, did you enjoy this draft specifically? I mean, they literally played the same lineup.
Yeah, ako, nag-enjoy ako dito sa game na to. Specifically yung, nafe-feel ko yung shot call dito nila Jay, na parang sobrang synchronized with Hate. Yun yung masasabi ko lang talaga sa game na to, na talagang Hate is very confident na pumasok even within risky situations kasi alam na niya na may mag-heart guard sa kanya and right in time. So the synchronization of this team is really top notch.
And again, I keep asking the question kung na-enjoy nyo yung draft. And of course, synchronization is a big key here, the dynamics between them. But I still can't believe that they pulled this on LP. It's the same draft. Literally, pinalitan mo lang yung Uranus, naging Tams siya. Alright? And it led to a sweep. Congratulations to Onyx. And I think the main point here that we have to cover is finally are they coming up to their potential. What so many people in the offseason have been saying about Onyx Philippines is this the strongest team on paper in the MPL in the making, because the points are speaking for themselves right now. They are in the lead from Group A and only second to Blacklist. So far, it's a yes or a no. Reptar, aka Jawhead, I gotta ask you, man, is it a yes? Is this the strongest team in the making?
Ooh, strongest. That's such a tough hot seat question. Strongest. Please keep it up. Yun lang masasabi ko. Onyx PH, keep it up. Ang ganda nung nakita ko, especially from Dilar and Iaknu. If they can keep it up, I could say they're gonna be the top 3. Actually, nung preseason nga sa vlog ni Manjin, I put them in my top 2 or top 3 teams. They're one of those 2. Keep it up lang. I like it. Ang ganda ng timpla ng Onyx PH. Sorry, hindi ko natagot yung question. Nasagot yung question mo, pero keep it up, Onyx.
Okay, all right. Yun na lang. Again, no wrong answers. Just keep it up, Onyx. How about you? Rob, meron ka bang definitive answer dito, yes or no?
Yes, kasi that's one of the reasons why I put them on my top list on my power rankings. Again, very close enough to Blacklist International. Siguro, why I say na strongest team in the making, kasi the difference between V-Wise and their mid, specifically, is that pwede mong pagpalit-palitin ng hero si Kyrie and as well with Hate. To the point na they were very identical in terms of playing. Kyrie could be able to play a lane. Hate definitely can play a lane. Likewise, Kagura, pareha sila. So, alam mo yung dynamic ng dalawa na to, I think they are a very top-notch. We're in a V-Wise tandem cannot be able to do. Sabihin, hindi ko sila down, pero we all know the difference in terms of hero dito. Wise are used to play mage and as well with marksman. Dito, they have this assassin, mage, and even marksman. So, in terms of hero pool, I think mas maganda yung naging trade dito for the side of Onyx PH. And ang dami nilang pwedeng laruin. Like na-mention kanina, di ba, na isa lang yung hero na pinalitan nila. And this is the trait of Onyx PH. They always do the exact same strategy as long as hindi na-break ng kalaban. It's like they're not showing their cards right off the bat. Kumbaga, ito yung gumagana, yung alas na to, ito lang ang gamitin natin ng gamitin up until the point na matalo nila, then that's the time we adjust.
All right, that's a gambit. It's an interesting one, but it's very dangerous if that's a one-track mind that they have. But yeah, definitely, Rob. The answer is yes. I'm taking yes. Para sa'yo, yes.
I'm sorry? Yes.
Yes, strongest team sila ngayon in the making. Okay, well, I'll answer this simple lang. No, not yet. Okay? No, not yet. Let's leave it at that. We are gonna be taking a quick break, ladies and gentlemen, sa ating pagbabalik dito sa MPL Recall. It's gonna be everyone's favorite. It's gonna be Real Talk with Coach Midnight. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.